There's some network issue from speaker, and she'll be back in 2 minutes.
Of 20 laptops for educating 1000 Basti Yuva with computer training. Vishwa thanks the Rotary Club of Hyderabad Midtown and Rotary Club of Hyderabad for connecting Prime Soft Solutions CSR to support the Vishwa Yuva Vikas program, a series of free computer training workshops conducted by Vishwa in the slum areas of Hyderabad. On Sunday, March 17, PrimeSoft Solutions stepped forward and donated 20 laptops for the Vishwa Yuva Vikas initiative.
In today's world, computer literacy isn't a choice.
Radhika?
It's a necessity.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
job seekers today,
July 60. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to talk about the July 6th event.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Namaste. This is Srivani here. On July 6th, we're conducting a physical event in Hyderabad. It is on waste, trying to make Hyderabad a zero waste city. And we will be having speakers from Carbon Masters, Mr. Kevin Houston. We will be having speakers from around 5 speakers who will be covering e-waste, who will be covering the local municipal waste, the hospital waste, the construction waste. So different kinds of waste and what is happening right now will be discussed, and what are the concerns we in the city have, and how do we address this issue, what needs to be addressed at the earliest. It would be a workshop where around 100 people will get together and be discussing the pros and cons. I request each of you who are interested in pollution, environment, to please participate in this event. We would like people who are passionate, who want to make a difference, to participate. It is only a by invite workshop. So please do put your qualifications and why you also need to be on this committee to talk about these issues. Yeah, that's about it. And please share it with your friends and families, because it's only 2 weeks towards it. And as you already know, the social media doesn't allow us to promote most of the events. So please do share with your friends and family who are interested in this topic. Thank you. You can continue, Radhika.
In Hyderabad's hot summer, there's a group bringing cool relief and warm meals right to those who need it most. Meet Team Vishwa. Every day, they're right here, handing out tasty, nutritious food and fresh water. They make sure families, patients, and anyone passing by can grab a meal and a smile. It's not just about the food, it's about sharing kindness. With every plate, they're turning a tough day brighter. This summer, join us and help the needy. With nutritious food and hydration, we can keep everyone cared for. Support us and let's spread the light with a helping hand, making every day brighter for everyone here.
Hello. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. We'll continue. So, as I explained you earlier, type 1
One second, just one.
function of the
Sorry for the interruption. There is a low bandwidth where the speaker is. So we're going to continue the talk. She will be off video, but the slides will be on and we can proceed.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So, sorry for the inconvenience. I think we'll continue. So, as I explained you earlier, type 1 is a chronic and lifelong disease where the body's own immune system attacks the beta cells from the pancreas, and the pancreas has a dysfunction to create the normal insulin. But type 2 diabetes is a non-insulin dependent diabetes. So this is a disorder where the high blood sugar in the context of insulin resistance and there is a relative insulin deficiency. What causes this type 2 diabetes? It is that when the pancreas does not make enough insulin. So obviously the pancreas capacity to produce insulin becomes resistant. So that is where you get the type 2 diabetes. So the third slide, it is called gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is where you get this GDM in pregnant ladies. Sometimes it cures by itself. So, but this requires a medical intervention, sometimes to prevent the pregnancy complications or post-delivery complications also. Usually it is detected between the 24th and 28th week of the pregnancy. So these are the three types of diabetes. This is the very basic thing. So which diabetes, fourth slide, which diabetes is dangerous? So there might be a question either type 1 or type 2 or gestational diabetes. So according to Ayurveda Shastra or whatever it may be, any type of diabetes which lasts for a longer term and which has the risk factors affecting your eyes, nerves, brains, kidney, heart, it could be dangerous. Even though it can be an early diagnosis or a later diagnosis or whatever it may be, it has to be rectified then and there through lot of lifestyle management and dietary restrictions, which I'm going to explain on the further session. So there is always a myth, the next slide, myth about diabetes, that diabetes is not a dangerous disease. All type of diabetes are the same and they have the same type of treatment, and diabetes can be cured for lifetime, and patients with the diagnosed with the diabetes cannot engage in heavy sports, and only type 1 diabetes needs insulin. So this is common myths what we all people have about diabetes. But the fact is, it can be controlled with the medications and proper diet. Once you have the inheritance of this diabetes, it is not curable. This comes under the asathmya rogas. Asathmya rogas are the disease which is not able to cure. So once you have it, this is a lifetime disease. And each and every person diagnosed with the diabetes can engage in a normal lifestyle, including the sports or whatever it may be. But the control point should be there with lot of dietary restrictions and management. So these are the facts about diabetes. So now jumping to Ayurveda, like what are the types we have in Ayurveda about the diabetes? Based on the cause of the diabetes, we have Sahaja, that is the genetic type. And next is Apatya and the Nimittaja type. Only because of the wrong diet and lifestyle, we end up getting the diabetes. So this is based on the cause of the diabetes. So based on the doshas, there are 20 number of diabetes explained in Ayurveda, in which the Vadaja, that is due to the Vada, it has 4 types. On the Pitta aggravation, the heat element aggravation, we have 6 types. And the Kapha aggravation, we have 10 types. So as we know, in Western medicine, we have only 3 types, but in Ayurveda, almost 20 types have been explained. And each and every diabetic complaints are like, the symptoms are entirely different. It won't match with the Vadaja, Pittaja and Kaphaja type of disorders. Next slide. The signs, as we all know, extreme tiredness, continuous thirst, weight loss, even obesity, weight gain, frequent urination, vision issues, skin issues, that is a tendency to heal the wound keeps decreasing, and gum disorders like gum bleeding, increased appetite, and numbness at the later stages. So these are the symptoms even explained in Ayurveda about the diabetes. So how does this happen? What are the causative factors according to Ayurveda? As we have explained earlier about the genetic disorder and wrong lifestyle and all, we end up getting the diabetes. What is the causative factors according to Ayurveda? Inactivity. Number 1 is inactivity and lack of exercise. That is a sedentary work habit. Excessive sleep. Sleep during daytime has been prohibited in Ayurveda for any type of patient. So day sleep can increase the diabetic values in the body. Third is the excessive use of curd. So this is like very important because those who are having an habit of taking too much of curd, they end up getting diabetes. And having too much of meat and soup of domestic, aquatic and marshy land animal, new cereals and drinks like Nava Anna, we used to say freshly harvested rice and freshly harvested drinks can lead to a diabetic inheritance. And then products of jaggery and sugar also causes diabetes, and all kapha promoting things like all factors which increases the kapha dosha in the body can lead to the diabetes. So how does this happen? Like next slide explains the samprapti. Samprapti is nothing but the pathophysiology of diabetes. So due to all the above said factors like inactivity, excess sleep, excess intake of curd, meat soup and all, the doshas, especially the kapha and vayu gets aggravated, which can lead to an agnimandia, nothing but loss of appetite. Due to the loss of the appetite, we end up getting lot of toxic substance in the body, that is the indigested material in the body, which can increase the moisture content, too much of moisture content in the body, and body tries to excrete it from the urine. That is where you get the frequent urination in the diabetes. So the samprapti is very simple. Any disease, when we just do the nidana parivarjana, that is when we don't follow the proper diet and the ahara and vihara property, it ends up in the vitiation of either of the dhatus or doshas and can accumulate in its own sthana, leading to the symptoms of the disease. Next slide explains a very simple diagrammatic sketch. Nobody. So this is the hetu. Due to the increased causative factor, the dosha gets imbalanced, which disturbs the agni and it increases the moisture in the body and leads to the excess urination, which is the predominant symptom of. But in Western part, it is like, as I told you, the wrong diet with high glycemic food, lack of exercise and all. There is a spike of the blood sugar value and insulin secreted by the pancreas of, and that is why we can feel more the presence of more glucose in the blood, which is nothing but the body tries to eliminate this high glucose level as a symptom of polyuria, which is the predominant symptom of diabetes. So what is Ayurveda says to prevent the type 2 diabetes? It says by eating sweet, salt and acidic food, that is which the taste of the food which increases the kapha, and all the three tastes like sweet, salty and acidic food can increase the prevalence of type 2 diabetes. So you can prevent it by having food which are predominant in pungent, bitter and astringent taste. So literally our food should be more of kapha reducing in nature. It should not increase the excess moisture in the body. So anything which can reduce the excess kapha can obviously help you to fight against the diabetes. So these are the tastes which can increase and reduce the risk of the diabetes. So now we can see what will be, next slide explains management principles or Chikitsa Sutram in Ayurveda explained for diabetes. So the first principle is Ahara. Ahara is the dietary restriction. The second management principle is Vihara, that is the strict lifestyle. And the third is the Aushadhi, that is the medicine. So as we all know, diet restrictions plays a very important role in managing the diabetes. I'll explain you. That is the diet which you can follow once you are detected having diabetes. So the next slide explains the Ahara. First one is the selective food. You have to be very particular in selection of the food. Like it should be low in glycemic index level. And small meal, just stick on to a small meal in a regular frequency. So you can't, no need to have all 3 times a day. You can make it into every 2 hourly, but just watch out to the calories. And try to include lot of vegetables, green leafy vegetable and spices and fibers. These are very commonly explained even in Western medicine. So why we ask you to take the green colored or green vegetables are, it has a very low glycemic index and like gourd varieties like rich gourd, ash gourd, bitter gourd. These are all very commonly prescribed as the first choice of preference as diet if you are having diabetes. The next slide is like the food that can be used in moderation. So the fat, the saturated fat, nuts, soaked nuts, cereals, old cereals, milk products. In that we can have milk, buttermilk and ghee in moderation. And milk products also in moderation. Eggs and little bit of artificial sweetness if you are like if your tooth is towards the sweet side. The foods which has to be completely avoided is, as we all know, sugar, sweets, cakes, those sweetened juices, soft drinks, and those all which has the sugar content in them. The next slide explains the viharas. Like viharas, what all the lifestyle you need to follow if you are diagnosed having diabetes. That is a strict walking and some yogasanas like Pakshimotasana, Halasana, and these peacock poses, Surya Namaskara, Pranayama, and meditation helps to manage the stress levels if you are diabetic. So the next slide explains you the diet plan. Like at least you can have 20 to 25 grams of raw onion daily because onion has the capacity to fight against diabetes. And just ensure you have some herbal tea and choose a non-fat dairy products and ensure you have at least 3 fresh vegetables every day and one along with your diet in your diabetic diet. And it's very important, don't skip your meal and eat a small meal but in frequent intervals and just ensure you have a walking and exercise. So the don't list comes under like avoid all the sweet cakes and pastries and all carbohydrates like potato, banana, wheat products and all. And less intake of salt and alcohol because they are the inducing or the triggering for diabetes. So what are the modalities explained in Ayurveda for managing the diabetes? In that, the first modality is apatarpana chikitsa, denourishment. Suppose a patient with a diabetes is very obese. What will be your line of treatment? That is, first you denourish him. That is called apatarpana. Next one is santarpana chikitsa. So for what if a patient who is diagnosed having diabetes is too lean? We can't give any denourishing treatment because already he is ill-nourished. So in that therapy, we have to give a replenishing treatment. There are certain treatments explained in Ayurveda which can improve the natural strength of the patient even though he is ill-built or he is having a weak immune also. The third line of treatment would be samshodhana, that is the cleansing therapy. All the panchakarma shodhana therapy. Fourth one is the brahmana, that is the promoting the body bulk. Because as we have seen, and gradual weight loss or an rapid weight loss also is a very important symptom in Ayurveda when you have the diabetes. So certain type of category, like patients with falling under the category, needs a nourishing treatment also. So So don't go only with the diet or regular exercise and just keep building the physique just by fasting or denourishing your body. All these four modalities like nourishment, denourishment, cleansing and promoting the body bulk also is a Ayurveda considers these four as the modalities of treatment when it comes to diabetes. So the next slide explains the same, the Chikitsa principles like Apatarpana, Santarpana. So the next slide I have just tried to explain the wholesome diet for diabetes. What you can have in particular or what you can have when it comes to when you are diabetic, which are the things which you can add in more in your daily diet. Number one is drumstick. So drumstick and also drumstick leaves has a in your body. And next is turmeric. As we all know, the curcumin, the phytochemical in that has an anti-diabetic nature also. So we have most of the medicines which proves very effective against diabetes has turmeric as the third one is gooseberry. So that is like an anti-aging, anti-inflammatory. These two are the main ingredients where we use these two products most of the anti-diabetic situations. And number four is barley. Barley is mainly given to reduce the excess water retention in the body. So when you have a swelling in the ankles or the foot, or when you feel your knees are not functioning in a very healthy way, you can have this barley water which acts like a diuretic. And next is the wheat. Actually, if you see wheat and rice, the glycemic index is almost similar. But when we have this wheat as your main product in your daily routine, the hunger sustaining capacity will be better. The rice. So that is why we advise to have lot of wheat and millet if you are having the diabetes. Green gram and horse gram. So among the grams, these are the better ones. Green gram, the moong dal, and horse gram, that is the kulata. You can have daily food which can even help you in a good digestion, also in the weight reduction. And snake god and bitter god, all the god varieties, because it has water content in that. So all the god varieties you can have it in plenty, which are green in color. Next is the black pepper, garlic, those things and all the herbal spices. So these can be included on a daily basis. Red gram, blueberries, jamun. Jamun is the main naval phalam we used to tell in Tamil. That is the main fruit against the diabetes. And vegetables, all the vegetables with bitter taste you can have. And flesh of animals in a dry land. So even in a moderate quantity, the flesh with the dry land animals can also be taken. Rock salt, ash god and snake god. So these are the wholesome diet which you can include even on a daily basis if you are having diabetes. So the next explains the unwholesome diet. So in the root and the rhizome vegetable, especially all these ground vegetables like potato, turnip, radish, those things has to be avoided. Sugar cane juice, jaggery, oil, ghee, and sour beverages like all the fermented products has to be avoided. Alcohol and carbohydrate intake. Curd is very much noted. New grains like all the freshly harvested grains has to be avoided if you are having diabetes. Day sleep, divaswapnam, which increases the kapha proportion in the body. And as we all know, due to the imbalance in kapha, only we do get diabetes. So controlling the urges. Like there are 13 type of urges explained in Ayurveda, which has to be not controlled. So if you control those urges, the natural urges in the body, you do get diabetes. And excessive sudation. Again, I want to their gym workouts or anything like that. The excessive sudation has to be avoided because it can increase the excessive dryness and vata in the body. So this has to be avoided. Second, regular therapies. Like for example, we have treatment and venesection treatment in Ayurveda. Those who are having diabetes has to be restricted in having these type of panchakarma treatment. And also the flesh of the marshy land animals has to be avoided. So regarding the diet, this is all about the diet. From the next slide, we will start discussing about the what are the possible line of treatment in Ayurveda once you have diabetes. So in our hospital, we do get patients with lot of diabetic, post-diabetic diabetic nephropathy and all. So as a preventive aspect, like I am not trying to say that diabetes is completely reversible. Going some cleansing therapy like panchakarma on a regular basis. So, but once you just leave the stage and you are diagnosed with a chronic ailment of the diabetes, there are many ways that you can prevent the we never get to know about the symptom. We can even have a normal lifestyle and everything. Getting distracted once you have the gene of this diabetes. So through some Ayurvedic treatments, which I'm going to explain on the further slide, body not to undergo the complications from the what we get from the diabetes. In that, the first list is the Abhyangam. Abhyangam is nothing but the regular massage. So what does this massage do to your body? It can help you to improve the circulation and it can help to improve texture, and mainly when we undergo such type of oil application, it can reduce the excess vata or the excess air proportion in the body. And all your joints, the dehydrated joint or the worn out joint has the capacity to replenish or regenerate once when we apply oil for the body. So there are different types of oil explained in Ayurveda exclusively for diabetic. As I told you earlier, Apatarpana Chikitsa, that is like Kotanjukadi Tailam, which can help to reduce the excess water retention in the body and equally help you to reinstall the lubrication in the worn out joints. But there are certain oils which can help you to nourish the body also, like Balashwagandhadi Tailam, Narayana Tailam and all. So we do happen to see patients who are obese having diabetes and also category of patients who are lean having diabetes. We need to see the root cause of that and select the oil accordingly. But improve the circulation, especially when we start the oil application after applying oil to the head. It is such a nourishing therapy where even all the nerves get regenerated. So all our hospital treatment starts with the Abhyangam, and the Abhyangam starts with applying oil for the head. So when we apply oil for the head, it is just like how we water the plant from the root. So, like when we want to water the plant, it is something like we just pour water to the root, water from the root, because root is the heavy absorbing system of the plant. Same like that, when we apply oil for the head, it can transfer the potency throughout the body. And especially in cases of diabetic retinopathy, so that you can increase the probability of the vision disturbance when you have diabetes as a chronic ailment. So these are the advantages of the Abhyangam. The commonly used oil for diabetic patients are Sahajaradi Thailam, Narayana Thailam, but it is again based on the your treating doctor's choice and experience who he or she has seen in their clinical practice. And the next treatment is Swedanam. So we do give very light Swedanam, light fomentation for the patient. We sometimes use a steamer where we just minimize the temperature and we make the patient to or relieve the toxins. Even a mild hot water bath is also considered as the Swedanam, where the toxins are completely removed. But again, as I told you earlier, an excessive duration is not very good. So we need to minimize the temperature of the warm water or the steam when you undergo this fermentation. The third slide explains about Udvartanam. Udvartanam is a process usually given to the patients who are very obese having the diabetes. So in this process, we have certain powder and oil. In certain cases, we just use only medicated powder to rub against the body in the opposite direction. What are the benefits of this treatment, Udvartanam? This helps you to reduce the weight. It helps you to reduce the excess fat accumulated in the body. It helps you to relieve the skin pores and toxins from the skin. So this is mainly indicated in obesity patients. Plenty of medicated powder, where the patient feels really very relaxed at the end of the treatment and he feels loosened up. That excess water retention gets completely cleared with this treatment. So we use Triphala Churnam. We use certain powder made with the hot gram powder and the seed of the jamun and all to enhance the potency of the Udvartanam. So this comes under the Apatarapana Chikitsa, where your physician thinks that you need a replenishing treatment. So this can help you in many ways. It can help you to reduce the weight. It can help you to improve the circulation. It can help you to rejuvenate your body also. So this is a mode of treatment called Udvartanam. Your diabetes under control. The next slide explains you Pilchik. This is also called as Kaya Chikitsa. This is mainly useful in certain conditions weakness. So as I told you, the symptoms of the diabetes, you do experience a fatigue or a very weak feeling in the body. That is mainly because your circulation gets affected and it doesn't reach the body. So certain type of treatment like the Pilchil is also called as Kaya Seka or Sarvangadara, where we pour warm oil on a regular stream throughout the body. So this is done by 4 therapists, 4 or maximum 5, in where 2 therapists will be sitting on either side of your body and keep pouring the warm oil, reheating it again and again. So this is like where you get a continuous stream of oil to your body for maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour. So during this treatment, there are many restrictions to be followed. You are not supposed to lift anything heavy. You are not supposed to expose to any cold or hot weather, because this can help you to accumulate the toxins from your extremities and collect it to the intestine. So this is a type of a Keraliya Panchakarma which helps you to improve the nourishment of the muscle, and it is a very good nerve strengthening treatment. Panchakarma where we do it in our hospital. So the next slide explains you the Shirodhara. Shirodhara is a very good treatment considered to be very important to reduce the stress. Because as I explained you earlier, stress could be one of the main trigger in all type of diabetes. So this Shirodhara particular treatment is done to release the excess stress in a diabetic patient. So how do we do Dhara, the Shirodhara? This is like in the treatment table, above the treatment table, we have a treatment like an earthen pot or a brass or a copper pot, where we have a hole in the center and we let a thin stream of oil overhead on a very frequent intervals to the patient. So 2 therapists will be doing this treatment, and we have different type of liquids. Dhara. That is, we can use medicated oil, we can use medicated milk, we can use medicated buttermilk, we can use tender coconut water or even plain cold water. It all depends on the what type of clinical what liquid the patient needs. So most of our hospital patients, we do it with the oil. The benefits of the oil is it can help you to reduce the stress. The benefit of the buttermilk is again the stress. Psoriasis and medicated milk, we use it in cases of irritable bowel syndrome and insomnia, sleeplessness, and stress also. So this is a very good stress reliever treatment, and it can help you to nervous system also. And diabetic neuropathy, for example, like when the patient has a numb feeling or a burning, like a paresthesia or neuropathy pain like that, this Dhara will be equally helping. This can be done even for a diabetic patient and to diabetic complications also. Vasti, the next slide explains about Vasti. Vasti is a very important cleansing treatment. Vasti cannot be given for a diabetic patient who is very with a fluctuating diabetes, but certain type of Vasti can be done in diabetic patients also, where we add salt and certain medications. We make it as a regular mixture. Cleanse all the small intestine and also the large intestine. So this has to be done with the proper preparation. We have to do 2 or 3 days of normal oil enema. We have to make the this Vasti, it has to be done under a proper to undergo enema. So this is also equally important in case of managing the diabetes. The next is about Virechanam. This is a periodical therapeutic medication which everyone can take at home. But again, we have to seek the medical advice which medicine is good for you. Like there are people of medications, like we have castor oil, we have certain lithiums, we have certain powders. So as a periodic way, if you can take this therapeutic purgation once in every 6 months, so the next slide I have tried to explain a very simple diet plan for diabetes. And at least a juice or a salad of green colored vegetable. You can have meat, chicken and fish, but with a limited quantity. And you should have a very low salt and no added flavor, and not a very saturated and fried food. So simply you can have, you can start your day with milk or boiled egg or some half-boiled sprout. And you can have a cup of grain with lot of vegetables for lunch. And maybe some seeds like pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, etc. And the dinner should end with a very mild soup or some boiled vegetables. So try to keep very frequent intervals and can divide the portions equally. So November 14 is considered as the diabetes day. So this like you try to be diabetic free and stay healthy. So how to reduce the risk of the diabetes? Just by following a very good ahara, lifestyle and manage your weight. That comes the primary criteria, because once you start gaining weight, all other main organs start falling for diabetes, especially your heart, kidney, vision and the nerves. These are the main organs and the post complications when you have the diabetes. So even though your readings may be showing into a very normal, with or without medicine, with or without food, but the threat of the diabetes will always be there. Ayurveda gives you a remedy for that as a long run. So just to help you to reduce the adverse reactions or an adaptation, like when you have these glycomet or this metformin as a longer aspect, that can prove an adverse reaction to some other organs, or it can show up an adverse reaction to the some other organs. So by undergoing certain Panchakarma treatments and some periodical Ayurvedic cleansing and some rejuvenatory treatment like Shirodhara, Pedicel, those things and all, it can help you to at least help prevent the further deterioration what body has to undergo once you get diabetes. So just watch on to your diet intake, and there are certain monotherapy and single herbal therapy which I will be explaining in some other week. It is completely for the prevention of the diabetes. So with the food habits and our sedentary work habits, especially after this COVID, many has a tendency or an inclination towards getting diabetes. So by following certain simple oil applications, therapeutic cleansing and the purgations at home, and watching our diet, we can definitely help to fight against this deadly disease. So with this, I just conclude my topic of the diabetes, and maybe further topics we can have set like some simple therapies and simple culinary spices which can be included of the diabetes, and also the prevalence and the effect in the body. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights on diabetes and Ayurvedic approach for diabetes. So before we move on to the question and answer session, I would like to request the audience to take a 30 seconds to answer a poll. And the purpose of the poll is to help us understand you a little better. And I would also like to apologize to all the participants today for the inconvenience that has been caused due to technical errors. And we thank you for your patience and understanding. And while you take the survey, I would like to invite our founder, Ms. Srivani Mullapudi, to initiate the Q&A.
Namaste to everybody. Dr. Tara Jayasri, thank you so much for coming here. You have always been meticulous in your slides, in the vivaranaga. Very, you go into detail. You're very systematic in the way you present. You have made a lot of people in India. India is known for diabetes. In fact, I heard that after the Green Revolution, when we moved from millets to rice, the increase of diabetes in India has increased. And when you are telling that the Western outlook of diabetes versus the Indian outlook through the Ayurvedic perspective, giving the common man this knowledge, thank you so much. Thank you to all the participants who have been patient with, in spite of the technical breakdowns that we have had. A lot of people are still here and still listening. Thank you so much. I will close this session quickly and then we can continue with the Q&A session. Thank you to the Vishwa team that in spite of so many breakdowns, you are all putting in your best to make it workable. Now to the upcoming talks. We have our next talk again by Dr. G.K. Tara Jayasri and Ayurvedic Solutions for Diabetes, Tips and Insights. She's the Chief Medical Officer at Aryavaidya Chikitsalayam, 29 June at 11 a.m. And then the next talk after that is a physical talk. It's on 6th July, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be a workshop where there will be 5 talk speakers speaking from various aspects of waste. For those of you who are interested, you'll have to apply for it. And people relevant to the topic who are passionate about contributing to society will be accepted into this program. With this, I close and we go on to the next question. Shmel, would you like to go unmute yourself and start?
Yeah. Thank you very much on this presentation. And I want to ask you next question. How exactly Ayurvedic approach in diabetes can support prevention diabetes disease among poor and low socioeconomic groups of population?
Ms. Tarashri, did you follow the question?
No, ma'am, I couldn't get it.
Shmel, tell me if I've understood it right. You're saying how can diabetes be addressed with the underprivileged people through Ayurveda? Are you saying that? Is that your question?
No, my question is how Ayurvedic is supporting poor and low socioeconomic groups of population prevention diabetes.
So what can Ms. Tarashri suggest for prevention of diabetes among the social and underprivileged class?
Yeah.
The prevention has to start from the food only, sir, because the lifestyle changes and the food plays a very major role. So even we feel healthy, okay, we have to just follow a very active exercise. Even a mild walking is fine. And say a strict no to the diet which you feel it is not suiting you. So it just starts only with the food and the activities, nothing other than that.
So can we also say that you have suggested three things? One is lifestyle, one is ahara, and the third one was you suggested a third point,
The main thing is the weight
managing
management,
the weight.
and you have to just, yeah.
And you have suggested certain common foods that can be used.
Yeah.
Um, turmeric.
All the God varieties, wheat products, and those things and all.
So some of the products you suggested were turmeric, drumstick, which is very commonly available in India, gooseberry, again commonly available, barley,
Yeah.
gram, horse gram, commonly available, snake gourd, bitter gourd, black pepper, garlic, red gram. Are there any recipes that you can suggest that people can use?
Yeah, you can, ma'am. Actually, the spices, definitely, many of them are already Indian meal, the rasam, sambar, the combinations is like that. If you take a sambar from a South Indian meal, the main ingredient in that is the asafoetida, tuar dal, and those things. So, which is again, the combination goes in that way, ma'am. So, it is both a digestive, at the same time, a carminative also. So a normal rasam will have all these ingredients. The horse gram rasam, the kulatta full rasam. So that is again a very good digestive agent. Basically to reduce the excess calorie, even though you have eaten unknown or if you have eaten a heavy fat or excess of the ghee. So if you have these type of carminatives and digestives added in the food as a part of your routine, it can definitely help you to over disease, because as a daily aspect, when you including it in your food, it becomes a habit, and the body has a natural mechanism to defend against the disease as a preventive aspect. It's not that I'm trying to say you won't get diabetes if you start inculcating all these things. You can prevent the adverse reaction once you get diabetes. There are difference between when you are diagnosed with the diabetes and having a lifestyle, or when you don't have a diabetes and following a lifestyle. So I'm just trying to differentiate these two conditions in a normal life.
Shmel, what ma'am's saying is in the Indian, South Indian eating lifestyle, we already have rasam and sambar, which is eaten with rice, which already has the ingredients that she has suggested, which is eaten daily. So if they can inculcate that into their diet, it can be prevented or it can be controlled. Would that answer your question?
Yeah, of course. And continuing in the question, I understand that in India, government and authorities involving in efforts to prevent the diabetes.
Are you asking if the government is putting in an effort to prevent diabetes? Ma'am,
Yeah.
doctor, do you have any idea about this?
I didn't get it, ma'am.
Is the government making any effort to do research and work in the field of diabetes, or making any effort?
Many researchers are happening, ma'am. Like our hospital has the combinations, classical formulations to prevent diabetes and other things. There are many articles published in Ayurveda proving the efficacy of Panchakarma therapies, like as I told you, Shirodhara, and some internal medications also, and even some single herbal therapies to reduce the glucose level in the body.
So is the government supporting any of these researches?
Yeah, many, ma'am. Even these tablets, I just forgot the name of the tablet, that is being proposed by the government only. the recently done all in Janaushadis, we used to get all those Haridra tablets and other things, we can easily have it.
Are they subsidized or are they removed from the patent to make it available to the common man?
No, ma'am. Patronized like Haridra and all, I am not sure about the whether it is patronized or not. But in Himalayan products and all, we do get lot of single herbal therapies like Karela, Nisha, that is the Haridra tablet, and we have a drug called Sarkarai Kolli, that is what to say. That is again a very common medicines used in that. A single drug therapies are also being used. That we get a lot of OTC products in Ayurveda retail, like that.
Lovely. Thank you. I think that answers your question, Mr. Shumail?
Yeah, thank you very much.
There is a question. Modalities of Ayurvedic treatment you had suggested. Could you please explain? You put Samshodhana, Apartha. Can you just explain that in more detail?
Apatarpana, yeah.
Okay. Can you explain it in detail?
Yeah. Like actually there are 4 modalities, ma'am. One is Apatarpana. That is de-nourishment. Like sometimes we happen to deal with a patient, diabetic patient who is very obese. So in that case, what we have to do, the primary line of the treatment should be reducing the weight of the patient. So in that case, in those categories, we use Apatarpana Chikitsa. So the main primary line of the treatment will be trying to. So such patients will be undergoing the process called Udvartanam, that is the powder massage, so that he is denourished or his excess fat accumulation gets resolved during the treatment. And the second line, like the modality of the treatment is Santarpana. So this is usually used in patients who need nourishment, but he is having a diabetic. So, for example, a very lean patient with a very low immunity, if he is detected having diabetes, we have to use this Santarpana Chikitsa Sutram for him, because he needs a nourishment. At the same time, the kapha in the body is more. All the nourishing therapies what we give can increase the kapha proportion in the body, because our pathology explains that only due to the derangement of vata and kapha, we get diabetes. So the disease is kapha in nature, but we have to do some therapies which has to aggravate the kapha in the body. So both has an equal, like a similar pathology. So in that case, we have to give a nourishment, but at the same time ensure that the kapha is not increased in his body. So what we do in such therapies are, we do some Navarakili treatment, where we have a special type of rice boiled with milk, and we make it into some potli, and we give nourishment to all the joints, so that his kapha is not aggravated. At the same time, diabetic values are also not increased. In certain cases, we add equal quantity of gotuma, that is the wheat, also into his potli, which can help to balance the nourishing effect of the rice what we use for the external treatment. And the same goes with the Brahmana treatment also. Brahmana is something similar, like we need nourishment to the Krisharogi, that is the patient who has a very low immunity or who is very lean but still has diabetes. And the fourth category is Samshodhana therapy, that is the cleansing. That is where he undergoes the Panchakarma. We have 5 types of Panchakarma: Snehana, Svedana, Nasya, this Vasti, and Raktamoshana. Raktamoshana is again we have to know diabetic patients has the capacity to undergo the Raktamoshana. But other therapies like Vasti, Virechana, Vamana, those things can be done for the patient. That is the proper cleansing. That is a Panchakarma treatment.
So, how regularly should, I mean, these treatments should be given at the premise of an Ayurvedic center, right?
Yeah. So like purgation, that is the therapeutic virashanam you can undergo at home. And even oil applications you can undergo at home. But once when you have it as a rejuvenatory basis or a preventive aspect, you need a doctor's advice.
So, how regularly should people come? Once in 6 months, once in a year? What is your advice?
Yeah, if they want to undergo that Shirodhara and it basically depends on the chronicity of the illness, ma'am. Usually, I used to say to all our patients, like when you get older, the disease in your body also gets older. So, for example, if you are 40 years old and if you are diabetic for the last 5 years, next year the disease age also will be 6 years. When you are 41, your disease is also 6 years old. So it depends on the chronicity of the ailment. So compared to that, we have Panchakarma therapy starting from 3 weeks. It can vary between 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, like that. For example, if you happen to deal with a patient who is suffering with a stroke along with diabetes for maybe 10 years, he may need a strong Panchakarma treatment between 3 to 5 weeks. But if you deal with a patient who is having a very normal lifestyle, but with diabetes and certain wear and tears of joints like that, he may require only 3 weeks is more than enough for him.
This is the
But with a regular intervals of once in a year. Like once you undergo a type of Panchakarma for 3 weeks, 5 weeks, you can't repeat it very frequently because the body's reactions will keep continuing at least 8 to 10 months after every treatment. So you can have such treatments recommended once in 12 months. If it is chronic, you can repeat it once in 10 months. So literally, in 2 years, you can undergo maybe 3 Panchakarma treatments.
Ma'am, Ms. Sirisha, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Nowadays, social media is promoting diabetes reversal programs. So, isn't it, may I have some light on this? Isn't it possible to reverse diabetes completely?
If it is detected in early stages, for example, you are proved to be diabetic of late, we can get it under control with a very strict and diet and lifestyle only, ma'am. According to Ayurveda, it comes under disease which is very difficult to manage. It can be only controlled. Many people say it can be reversed. Yeah, of course, you can have all the like your blood values and investigations well under control. Your diabetic values will be 100% super normal. But there are always a tendency to get back those values into higher, provided you unfollow the diet and the lifestyle patterns.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. One question, ma'am. One more question. So,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell the difference between rock salt and pink salt, ma'am? Which one is better to use in daily life?
You can use pink salt. Himalayan salt is also good. We call it as Indupu. Indupu is very good for all type of cooking.
Rock salt is different than that, ma'am.
Yeah, we have 5 types of lavana, that is salt in Ayurveda. So this comes under different, derivations. In that, pink is fine, anything, but salt has to be avoided. That has to be in the moderate values only. Pink salt is equally good, but medicated salt, that is called Indupu, that can be used for your daily purpose.
Okay, one more question, ma'am. You have mentioned honey is not advisable in diabetes. So, can you tell me any substitute? Jaggery is advisable, ma'am, or any other substitute for sweetening?
Yeah, honey, those things and all have to be avoided. But jaggery to certain extent, like you see, if you see the glycemic index of jaggery, brown sugar, honey and all, there are no much of difference, ma'am. Hardly 0.5 variations will be there. But compared to white sugar, these are okay. But there are hierarchy. Like compared to white sugar, brown sugar is fine. Compared to brown sugar, like the hierarchy just goes like that, but the difference is hardly 0.5 grams of glycemic index only. You can try some organic jaggery or even coconut sugar is equally good. In case if you want to have a sweet food or a sweet dish, you can equally try palm sugar. That is very good.
Okay. Okay. What about sweeteners, ma'am? Sugar-free tablets or products are available in the market. Can we use it?
Yeah, artificial sweetness we don't recommend too much, but on unavoidable circumstances you can try. Even palm sugar is good, palm jaggery and palm sugar. If you like the taste of that, that will be ideal to use.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was a valuable session. Thank you.
Miss Sirisha, where are you from?
I'm from Vijayawada, ma'am.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, our next question is from Mr. Malas Sarja. Can you
Hello,
please,
sir. Good evening.
please come on? Like, yeah.
Can you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir. Namaste, sir. Tell me, sir.
Yeah, madam, my name is Gudin Malasarja. I'm diabetic from the last 20 years.
Okay, sir.
And up to around the almost last 3 years back, I was taking on medicine. Now, after 3 years, I was affected by brittle diabetes. Brittle diabetes means in a day, the sugar used to go vary from 400 to 80. Affected me badly, and I was attacked with glaucoma and nerve numbness, and I lost heavily my weight. Almost I lost around 80 to 20 kg of weight. Now I am purely on insulin. Four times a day, I'm on insulin. 8 units, 6 units, 6 units, and 22 units. So, is it possible for me to, because my eyesight, left eyesight, also a bit affected, and I lost a heavy weight. Is it possible? At least I can increase my weight and increase my vision through Ayurveda.
Yes, sir. That can be definitely possible. But as an initial stage of treatment, we may have to get your nerves nourished, sir, first thing. We have to improve your circulation first and your absorption better. Then we can plan some treatment for your weight gain. The first line of treatment would be to stop the further weight loss initially. And then something which can help to improve the nourishment. Because once you enter into the nourishing phase, it can help you in getting back your vision and also the weight. So
yeah, after taking insulin, slowly I increased my weight. Now I have gained almost around 3 kg weight back, but not a rapid. But I want to get out of this insulin dependency.
Yeah, insulin as of now, we may have to give you something internally with the same dosage of insulin. And once your body starts reacting to the Ayurvedic medications, we can taper down the insulin. It takes some time, sir. Maybe between 3 to 6 months, we have to work out on your diet, insulin, and your physical activity, everything. And you may have to inculcate some Ayurvedic medications and some oil applications for the head to prevent the glaucoma and other stuff and all. It will take some time, but I think it may be possible because of if you are ready to follow the diet and certain internal medications also from Ayurveda.
How often I have to visit to Hyderabad, madam? I think you are from Hyderabad.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe you can connect me online, just sending the reports, and I have to see you once in the video. First consultation would be based on the pulse reading. Maybe I have to see your body constitution and read your pulse. The further consultation could be online if you are really eager to taper down your insulin.
Yeah, madam. I want to come and meet you once if you want me to come there, because I am from Hubli, Karnataka. I don't know from where I have to meet. I don't know.
Okay. I will give the address to the office. So maybe you can have one visit. Then once if I know about the body constitution, that would be me to decide the further plans also.
Okay. Which part of India you are from, madam?
We are from Coimbatore, sir. I am working here in Ayurvedic Chikitsalayam in Coimbatore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, madam. Coimbatore we can think of, because we can come to Mysore from Uti to Coimbatore we can come.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, ask your admin to share the office address and contact numbers, madam. I'll take appointment and come and meet you once.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
sure,
you so much.
Yes.
I think we're done with all the questions. Thank you, Mr. Malsaraj Guddin. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, Malasarja Goodin, madam. Thank you.
Guddin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Tarashri. That was a wonderful session. You've been so patient and handled
Thank
all
you, ma'am.
these with a lot of patience. We really appreciate the service you're doing, the dedication you have, the detailing you're going
Yes.
to. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the
Thank
participants.
you. Thank you.
For
ma'am.
the breakdown in the technical breakdowns we have in India for the bandwidths. And thank you to each of the participants, to each of the coordinators at Vishwa. You'll have done a brilliant job in spite of so many breakdowns. You'll ensure the talk goes smoothly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
We thank all the participants who have joined today. We will be sharing you speaker's email ID as well as this talk's recording and the PPT. And these details would be shared to your registered email IDs. So please check it.